Today, we are upgrading our communication skills because having all these deep thoughts and ideas inside your head and not being able to put them into words or express yourself in the way that you want to is not very fun. And that's why today I'm going to show you exactly how we're going to fix this. If you have these thoughts and ideas in your head and you really want to share it with people and you want to express it to the outside world with power and confidence, but every time you try to do that, it just doesn't come out the way that you want it to. I understand and I can relate to you, which is why I'm making this video to share the things that actually took me from talking like this.
So I'm a little sad because some days I just want a lot of sunlight and
to the way that I communicate right now. So stick with me till the end of this video. I'm going to make sure to structure this video in a way that is easier for you to follow through. So all you have to do is just take note of these things and implement them. If you can implement these things that I'm talking about in this video, then I can promise you that your communication game will transform. So let's get into it. So first things first, to be able to put your thoughts into words and articulate clearly, the first thing that you need to have to be able to do this is a strong mind and mouth connection. Your mind and your mouth has to be in tune. They need to have that type of connection that's like this. That's like whatever that comes to your mind, your mouth is able to put it out. I'm gonna tell you how we're gonna do this. You need to learn how to put your thoughts into words instantly. Every single time you're thinking about something, when you just have a thought that just pops up into your head or an idea, every single time that happens in your head, you're gonna say it out loud. You're going to put it into words. It does not have to be perfect. If you're indoors, just go in front of the mirror or take out your camera, put it somewhere, then put that thought out. And even if you're outdoors, you still have to put it out. I'll tell you what I do. I don't care at this point. I talk to myself all the time, even when I'm outside. Every time some idea comes to me, I just talk it out. And I think that's the number one most important thing that has really helped me strengthen my mind and mouth connection. And if you're outdoors and you feel really awkward or embarrassing to talk to yourself, that's okay. That's okay. You have your phone, right? You have your phone. You can just pretend that you're talking to someone on the phone. Just put your earphones in. People are just gonna know that you're talking to someone. Or, these earphones, the wired ones, just put them in. Talk to this. Pretend like you're talking to someone. Just talking to someone. Just do that if you're outdoors. Or just pretend that you're talking to your phone, like, just put that idea out when you're outside. I don't care wherever you are, now you have an option. And now in situations when you don't really have any thoughts or ideas in your head, that's totally fine. You can still strengthen your connection between the mind and mouth. I'll tell you this very fun practice. This is something that I do in my sessions with my students. It's very fun. Try it out. So basically it is just talking on the spot. What I do is I show them an object. For example, I show them an image of an apple. I don't give them any second to think about the image. At the second that they see the image of the apple, they're gonna have to start talking about it. That's the challenge. Actually, we can practice that right now. So I'm gonna show you an object right now and you have to pause the video and talk about it for 60 seconds before you watch the rest of the video. Don't aim for perfection. You don't have to make sure that you're saying the right things or you're saying it the way you want to. Just whatever that comes to your mind at that second, you're going to put it into words. Maybe it's about the texture of the thing, or if it's the color, or how much you like it, and maybe tie any personal stories to it. You don't have to make it perfect. Just say whatever that comes to your mind for 60 seconds. So I'm going to show you the object right now. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Pause the video and talk about it for 60 seconds. Okay, I hope that went well. So what you have to do is, if you don't have any thoughts, okay, just look around in your room and pick an object and just talk about it. Keep talking about the object. It does not even have to make sense because nobody's listening to you. Even if people are listening to you, it doesn't have to make sense to anybody if it makes sense to you. But I'm saying, just look at an object and talk about it. So this is one way that you can strengthen your mind and mouth connection. I don't want to say something and then leave it at that, but I actually want you to start practicing this, which is why I'm going to put this challenge to you. It's a 30-day challenge. For the next 30 days, you're going to talk for 60 seconds. You're going to pull out your camera, keep it somewhere. You can talk about anything for 60 seconds. Just make sure that you pull out your camera so that you can track your progress, how things have changed in the 30 days. If you want to describe an object, do that. If you want to talk about how your day went, do that. Just pull out your phone, keep it somewhere, and talk to it for 60 seconds, just a minute. for the next 30 days. I'm actually going to make this more interesting. I'm going to put a comment in the comment section down below. So this can be your space where you come and track your progress. You can be like day 1 tick, day 2 tick, that kind of thing. You can start it over there. So I'm going to put a comment where you can always come back and you can track your progress over there. So this is the first takeaway. Talk to yourself throughout the day, wherever you are. This internal monologue that you have going on inside your head, where you're talking to yourself, that's actually a blessing. Not a lot of people have that. If you are blessed with that, you should actually take it out of there and put it into words. So if you use a lot of filler words like, oh, that was so scary. I got scared for a second. Hi, baby girl. I'm actually filming.
I'm with Mama Di Papa, and we have some snacks here, and we're going on a trip.
Girl, trip to where? Trip to Langkawi?
We're actually planning on going. Yeah?
Trip to Langkawi?
Girl, can you shut up?
Okay, so that was my sister. Back to what I was saying. If you want to focus on reducing the filler words, it's very simple. To reduce your filler words, all you gotta do is pause when you speak. The reason for why we use all these, like all of that is because we're so uncomfortable with pausing every time we speak, because there's a little bit of silence, right? And that silence is awkward for us. So instead of pausing, we just like to keep talking. So what we have to do is we have to make ourselves comfortable to pause when we speak. Now the second thing is second, but it's equally important as the first one, which is to take up space. Don't be afraid to take up space. So if you take a look at my video from 2020, the one thing that I was always doing was shrinking myself or holding myself back. That always showed up in the way that I communicate. I was afraid of being confrontational, or I was afraid that I would trigger someone if I said something wrong. So I wanted to make sure that I said the right things, and I was not coming off as this audacious girl. That really showed up in my body language. I really started noticing this when I ordered food at cafes. I would really shrink myself and make it seem like I was asking them for a favor, or I was really making this person that's taking my order, I was making them uncomfortable. That's how I would order stuff. But I don't have to do that, right? I am here to order my food and I'm gonna pay them for it. So I'm gonna have to be able to do it confidently. It was just this people pleaser in me that always wanted to make sure that I was not making anyone uncomfortable. The problem with this is it's not just inside us. We think that it's something that's inside us, but people and anyone around us can see that. They can sense that energy from us. Then I was like, I need to slowly start making the shift of taking up space. Like, I deserve to take up space. You deserve to take up space, okay? You deserve to take up space, and you can say anything that you want to say. If there's something that's your point of view, or something that you think is right, or something that you stand by, then you shouldn't be afraid to talk about it. I feel like this is something that I learned right now, and I'm still practicing it, to learn how to take up space. So here's how you can actually put this into practice. You can start in small places. Maybe if it's at a meeting, or if it's ordering food at the cafe. Try to do it by taking up more space and saying what you want confidently. And also, one other tip that is really great, works great for me, is freeing myself up physically before I'm gonna do any presentation. I just dance around a bit, I move my body. Maybe before you go to that place, put on your favorite song and dance before you go there, and let yourself free. When you physically do these things, that's actually signaling to your brain that you are allowed to be loud and take up space. And also, another thing is, this is happening because we are so focused on ourselves. Am I saying the right thing? Do I look okay? Putting our focus inward really shows up in our body language. So it's important that we learn to channel our energy outwards. Look at the person that's talking to you, or the group of people that you're talking to. Listen to what they have to say. When we take off this pressure from ourselves, that's when we're actually able to completely be ourselves. So the next most important thing is to read. I know you've heard that so many times, but stick with me. When I say read, I don't mean just read books. I'm saying read anything, just to develop a habit of reading. Okay? Because in the world that we're living in right now today, we don't like to read. All we like to do is scroll, one video after the other, scroll. We're not reading anything. And I think that's really affecting the way we communicate. And like I said, I don't mean books. Read anything that's in front of you. If it's a menu, then read that. If it's a user manual, then read that. Just develop a habit of wanting to read things. My experience, I'm not a reader. I think maybe more than a year ago, almost 2 years ago, I did not like reading. Every time I tried to read something, I would always fall asleep. It would bore me, or I just did not like reading, and I thought it was not for me. But reading has completely changed the way that I talk. And let me tell you how I initially started developing this liking for reading. I would read about anything that I find interesting. If there's a crime story or a conspiracy theory or something like that, if I find it interesting, I would just go into this rabbit hole and I would just sit there and read news articles. I would read Quora. I would just read whatever that's there about that topic. Start with reading whatever you like. Just think about something that you always thought was intriguing or interesting. Okay, if you don't have anything right now, I'll tell you, why is the sky blue? Have you ever thought about it? Why is it blue? Are you curious about it? I don't know why is it blue, but like if you're curious about it, instead of going to YouTube and watching a video on it, go to Google and read some articles about it. And if you really want to start reading books, then I would say you don't really have to start with reading business books or self-development. None of that stuff. You don't have to start there. Just start with reading something that you're interested in. Read fictional stories or whatever you like. I remember reading this in the almanac of Naval Ravikant. It is, read what you love until you love to read. Just read whatever and you will find yourself loving the process of reading. And one more thing about reading is that I always heard that reading will actually improve your vocabulary, but I never really thought that it did. But as I kept reading, what I noticed is that these words that I actually see on the books, they actually come to my head when I'm in conversations. It is true, if you read, that helps you improve your vocabulary as well. So start reading things you like, whatever it is. And one thing that I want you to realize right now is that you have to stop waiting around to become a strong communicator. Nothing or no one is gonna come to you and tell you that you are a powerful communicator. No one's gonna come and say that to you. Because I used to always wait around. I used to always think that if my presentation skills get better, then I will become a better communicator. If I start reading more books, then I will become a better communicator. That's what I used to tell myself. But then it got to a point where I realized that that's not happening. I cannot wait until I fix all these things and then put myself out there to communicate. It does not work. That day is not going to come. You're going to have to start telling yourself that you are a strong communicator, and you're going to have to start talking and putting yourself out there. So today, you are deciding that you are a powerful and strong communicator, and you are able to articulate your thoughts so clearly and so effectively that you actually cast a spell on people just with your words. Start implementing these things that I talked about in this video and keep doing it consistently. You're going to get there. I promise you. So that's everything that I wanted to share with you in this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And also let me know down in the comments what topics you want me to talk about so I can make videos that you find helpful. So I'll see you next week in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.